I'll Be There by Jackson 5. And that's a little slower, but just kind of, you know, sort of move with us and sing with us. Most of you all know it probably. So.
Bonjour. Welcome to Sunday Assembly AM. I'm back up here behind the microphone, which is fun. Sunday Assembly Atlanta, for those of you who don't know, and before I get into the small spiel that I have planned, who hasn't been here before? Thank you for coming, taking a risk, and considering our topic being friendship, taking a risk is a hard thing to do, to be that first person that's like, hey, you want to get coffee? Just to see what happens. So thank you for showing up and giving your time to see what this is all about. So Sunday Assembly Atlanta is a life-celebrating congregation without deity, dogma, or doctrine. So whatever you believe or don't believe, you're welcome here. Part of our motto is living better, helping often, and wondering more. And so that means in many ways of how to find more meaning in your life. And one of those ways, of course, is friendship. Let's start off with a great reading from, I think, one of the classics, right? This is up there with Aristotle and Sophocles, right? Shakespeare. We're getting up there with a wonderful story by our own Michelle to talk about Winnie the Pooh. Come on up.
Piglet, said Pooh. Yes, Pooh, said Piglet. Do you ever have days when everything feels not very okay at all? And sometimes you don't even know why you feel not very okay at all. You just know that you do. Piglet nodded his head sagely and said, oh yes, I definitely have those days. Really? Said Pooh in surprise. I would never have thought that. You always seem so happy and like you've got it all sorted out. Well, here's the thing, Piglet said. There are two things that you need to know, Pooh. The first thing is that even those pigs and bears and people who seem to have got everything in life all sorted out, they probably haven't. Actually, everyone has days when they feel not very okay at all. Some people are just better at hiding it than others. And the second thing you need to know is that it's okay to feel not very okay at all. It can be quite normal, in fact. And all you need to do on those days when you feel not very okay at all is come and find me and tell me. Don't ever feel like you have to hide that you're not feeling very okay at all. Always come and tell me. Because I will always be there.
Thank you, Michelle. It's amazing how many aspects of we all know in one way or another how friendship can feel when we have it and when we don't. And it is nice to have somebody there to support you. We have another reading from our own Dwight. I'm looking forward to this. Dwight, would you like to come up?
Oh, I think it's me.
Oh! Well, never mind.
I need to read it.
Dwight 2.0, Laura.
The constant dialogue between reality and illusion, moderated by our use of language, is what poet and philosopher David Whyte explores in Consolations, the solace, nurturement, and underlying meaning of everyday words. A most remarkable book dedicated to words and their beautiful, hidden, and beckoning uncertainty, White constructs an alternative dictionary inviting us to befriend words in their most dimensional sense by reawakening to the deeper and often counterintuitive meanings beneath semantic superficialities and grab-bag terms like pain, beauty, and solace. And he does it all with a sensibility of style and spirit partway between Aristotle and Montaigne, I can't say his word, and Mary Oliver. White chooses 52 ordinary words, the same number as playing cards in a playing deck. Perhaps a subtle suggestion that words like cards are as capable of illusion as they are of magic, two sides of the same coin, chosen by what we ourselves bring to the duality. Among the words white and nobles with more luminous understanding are those connoting the most complex conversations between human hearts, friendship, love, both unconditional and unrequited, and heartbreak. A friendship which Emerson considered the supreme fruit of truth and tenderness, Aristotle, the generous act of holding up a mirror to each other, Thoreau, a grand stake for which the game of life may be played, and C.S. Lewis, one of those things which gives value to survival, White writes. Friendship is a mirror to presence and a testament to forgiveness. Friendship not only helps us see ourselves through another's eyes, but can be sustained over the years only with someone who has repeatedly forgiven us for our transgressions, as we must find it in ourselves to forgive them in turn. A friend knows our difficulties and shadows and remains in sight. A companion to our vulnerabilities more than our triumphs when we are under the strange illusion that we do not need them. An undercurrent of real friendship is a blessing exactly because its elemental form is rediscovered again and again through understanding and mercy. All friendships of any length are based on a continued mutual forgiveness. Without tolerance and mercy, all friendships die.
All right, Dwight, how can you top that, huh? We'll give you a shot next time. Thank you for reading, Laura. Friendship has a way of sneaking into our lives sometimes when we least expect it. Sometimes I'll have friends who come out of the woodwork who show up when they're the person that I need. Someone, Facebook connects us to friends of many generations ago. It feels like, I don't know, it's been 2,000 years since I've seen this person. And suddenly they reach out, and I'm thinking, oh, the connection I had with this person back then is something that I need right now. And it's amazing how friendship can be found in so many different areas. From people we know all the time to spontaneously at some place, someone just aligns with you about something, and you both have this shared experience. And immediately there's something about that experience that can draw you to the other person. And it makes the event so much better wherever you are. Finding those friendships can be easy. And it starts, of course, with looking who's around you. So we're going to jump into an icebreaker here. There's a reason that at the middle of many of your tables there is a piece of paper that has a quote on either side of it. And so what we would like is for that to be something that you may...
We're actually handing out questions?
Oh, never mind. I was misinformed.
Don't wander in it.
I made assumptions, and we all know what assumptions do. So, Marla is handing out questions. The quotes on the table are great to remember and think about. These questions are a great way to read together and start some conversation. Go ahead and chit-chat for a while. I'll let you know when we're going to bring it on back. Let's wrap up our conversations. Bring it on back. Okay, words of Matthew McConaughey. All right. Bring it on back together. We have more things to share, some good ideas about friendship, more readings with some insights. Now we are going to, well, before I go in that direction, let me thank you for taking part in that activity, getting to know the people around you. Some of the hardest parts about coming to a new community, especially, is who are these people? What am I supposed to do with them? They seem so established. How am I supposed to get in and get to know them? And a great way is just to open up with a question. It could be something big, it could be something small, like what do you have for breakfast? So a lot of different ways to connect, and you never know where friendship can bring, or where it can come from. We have a segment at Sunday Assembly called Doing My Best. This is a segment where a member of one of our own comes up and shares a story about how they're doing their best, either in spite of or because of their circumstances or events that happen in their life. So I'd like to bring up Teresa to come share her experience with us. Teresa? Make your way up. Keep the clapping going.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you everybody for being here. Thank you, Anna, for offering this space for me to share my thoughts with you. So the first thing I want to share with you is that I was self-diagnosed a stage fright sufferer. Nobody said to me you were that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because every time I get on the stage, my heart starts racing it, and I get really nervous, and this is another attempt to kind of like overcome that, to share it with you, and make you suffer it with me, so that I feel Thank you so much. So I'm going to try to read this, and I hope that I can go through it, but if I can, then Maria has offered graciously to back me up. So if we have a switch of deliver, these are my words anyway. So this segment is called I Am Doing My Best, and I have titled my little writing, I am doing my best to be a friend. I started adulthood facing an entirely new world. I moved to the US during the confusing days of my late teens, and I found myself standing completely alone in the middle of crazy Los Angeles, California. Okay, yeah, the voice is not there. I was penniless, I was clueless, I was hungry, but I was fully loaded with the hope that I had gotten from my latest upgrade of Catholicism. I got that during my high school graduation, my confirmation, and Jesus was on my side. There was nothing in the world that I couldn't get, even though I wasn't trying too hard because I was a teenager and who cared about the world at the time. Jesus got my back, right? So that makeshift mind, I migrated to a new world to start my new life. I, of course, had not developed a cohesive sense of self, let alone I didn't have any self-esteem, but I moved forward. I went on that makeshift mindset for a long, long time, and I was met with great disappointment, of course. So I simply did not have the emotional strength to approach people, at least not in a way that was not transactional in nature. I go along well with neighbors, classmates, and co-workers, and hobby co-enthusiasts. But when it came to friendship, those true social connections that replace family, nobody stuck around. Have you made any friends? Asking my cousin, my best friend, every time I spoke to her in Colombia. No. But I knew that I needed friends if I was not to just survive, but thrive. And I'm a very ambitious person. Eventually, after dismissing all their causes, everybody else was to blame for this except for me, I decided to question my behavior as a cause of my social handicap. So I went to this help section of the bookstore hoping to find something like how to make friends in 10 days. And I read that, preciously, I'm going to fix this problem now. No, the answer wasn't there, so the books led to seminars and online classes, and eventually I ended up talking to a professional in the mental health services. I was like, okay, I need professional help here. So until I was about 35 years old, I thought I had to wait for these mythical creatures, the friends, to fall into my good Catholic girl net. It was a net made of expectations only, by the way. Well, the first thing that I realized while deconstructing my core assumptions and building new understandings was that I myself would not pass my own test. I would not be my own friend. In other words, I had it wrong. I didn't need to make friends. I needed to become a friend. And those are two entirely different endeavors. A friend is not, I realize, not something to get from another. It is a thing to be for another. And imagine if we all that. And so that is what I dedicate myself to doing. I do my best to be a friend. Learning I had to make the learning that I had to match the other end of the equation, friendship, before I could expect reciprocity took time. And keeping that in mind is still a daily task. So I know I need a routine, I need discipline, and I need a good network of like-minded people to help me stay focused. So in order to be in friendship, I have to be friend material first, right? That's what I got so far. This means I must take care of my body so that it can host a healthy mind. I need a healthy mind so that I can grow healthy habits. And I need healthy habits so that my body can stay healthy. And so on. It's a cycle, right? I discovered that after a little work. And I am fortunate to have met people with inspiring habits along the way. People who help me stay on task. Here's another cycle. Good habits, good company, good habits. So I am doing my best to be a friend. Here are some notes on my experience so far. I come to understand that having my challenges in view is as important as having my gifts in view. So I do recognize that I have problems. I'm not gonna say what, but I know that those problems came because of my social handicaps that I grew up with in the conditions that I did. But the important thing now is that I know that and I see it from afar, and I am a grown-up person, and I own my behavior now, and I can make changes, and I do own my future. And that's what I'm working on. Would you mind reading the rest of it? Because I'm totally just gonna cry the rest of it. And it's almost gone. It's just from here on. That's super crazy. From here down. Okay.
Teresa says, I came to understand that having my challenges in view is as important as having my gifts in view. I recognize that I have an addiction to alcohol. I know I didn't drink to enjoy alcohol itself, I drank to feel numb. Alcohol does a great job at hiding my need for human connection, but is a fleeting, temporary relief and has a lot of rather important side effects. Changing my angle, from waiting like a victim to acting like the responsible owner of my life. When I finally understood that even though I was not guilty of being the result of my upbringing and environment, I am solely responsible for my life today and for my future. I was able to march forward. Here's a list of the things that I do daily and to which I am now fully committed. For structure, I keep a daily schedule. For accountability, I join groups. To be aware of my progress, I keep a wall calendar. To celebrate, I keep a photo journal. For mental health, I meditate. For fitness, I run like I'm addicted to it. I just celebrated reaching my desired weight, and that gave me a few points in the sense of self-worth meter. All the people I've met during my staying journey give me so much hope and prompt my ambition. I like to, for once in my life, feel strong, so I do count my blessings daily. And I see that there are many. I have a vision of me, and I'm present and engaged. I have clear and present in my mind that friendship is essential for my well-being. That deep level of human connection is as vital to me just like air and water. I know firsthand the benefits of having healthy human connections, and I know firsthand too that feeling lonely, the absence of meaningful human connection, is not good at all for me. Loneliness does make really bad company. I know I suffer from anxiety, depression, and high-functioning alcoholism, and I know what to do to stay strong. A pill of wisdom as prescribed by my PCP, a good diet, and the outdoors. I learned that I have to constantly be doing my best to be a friend.
Thank you, Teresa, for sharing your story. I would like to bring our band back up for a song. Would you be willing to come back up and play that song? You're going to have to say yes or no, and then you get to find out.
I
You know, I've never heard that Red Hot Chili Peppers song. You may have heard all the, you know, the 5 that everybody's heard. So that was good. I like that. Somebody call up the Red Hot Chili Peppers, let them know you guys didn't do as good of a job as these guys did on your song. We'll get them at the next assembly. They'll be here. The power of friendship, right? Speaking of friendship, one of our very own, Ross Llewellyn, is going to come up and talk about something that may not be particular, or may not particularly affect men in one way or another. I'm hedging here because I'm sensitive to man and woman and or male and female connection issues that we have, but I think men in general in our society struggle to make friends. And it has been shown in some studies that in later years in life, women tend to have more friends and tend to maintain connections better than men do, which in part, there's a correlation between that and men typically dying sooner than women because they lack some of the social connections that can help keep that joy and that vulnerability of being able to share with somebody else in their life. I have no clue if Ross is going to talk about any of that. So and I can. Anyway, Ross, come on in.
I'll raise this up a tad, but I am going to cop Misha's style here. Yeah, that's pretty good, yeah. It's formal, it's intimate. Did do that. Alright, we're good. So I'm going to very professionally read this off of my phone. These are excerpts, I was looking at, there we go. These are excerpts from an article on Medium by a guy named Mark Green. And I'll let you know that it has 662 claps, whatever that means, but that definitely means it's good. And it's called Why Men's Friendships Can Feel So, and it's in all caps, empty. And these are just part of that. So, will you be my friend? Sometime around first grade, boys stop asking that question, and they never ask it again, because it quickly becomes an invitation for bullying and abuse. Stop and think about that for a moment. This single observation that men are taught to deny what they want and that they need friends lies at the core of everything that is wrong with our modern construction of manhood, and it is killing us. Instead of connecting in emotionally authentic ways, American men are taught from an early age to access friendships obliquely by joining clearly defined groups, teams, or organizations. In adulthood, men continue to seek friends in the safe but highly conforming context of work, team sports, church, or their lives' social or familial connections. Because their friendships are sourced in organizations, men can end up keeping much of their uniqueness hidden and cleave close to what is culturally normative for these institutions. This creates a high degree of homogeneity, that's a $2 word, in how men express, engage, and perform friendship. Joe is my friend because Joe comes to bowling every week, not because Joe is necessarily someone I connect with on any other level. These risk-free friendships are based solely on proximity. They require that men hide any atypical aspects of their internal narratives. This leaves men feeling emotionally isolated, providing no social mechanisms for men to process the challenges in their lives. Organizational conformity guarantees belonging at the expense of authentic self-expression. The result, we end up alone in a crowd. Men will ask women to have sex and take no without skipping a beat, which that was written in 2017, so in the wake of the Me Too movement, I'm surprised that was said. Men will ask a customer to buy a product and take no as just a part of the territory. But asking another man to please be my friend represents social risk-taking that's guaranteed to end badly because in the moment a man asks this question, he has failed to be what all men are expected to be. He has failed to be, and pay close attention to the word I'm using here, of course that's Mark, competent. Men are taught to validate themselves with other men by fostering the impression that they always know exactly what they're talking about. There's some irony here. The male focus on competence and social status is tied to our belief that our chances of success in business and personal interactions increases when underpinned by something we can leverage. Either way, it's ultimately about male insecurity. Male insecurity born out of the fact that we have never been taught to lead with our own authentic emotional selves. So we take our personal stories off the table and put our competence, our networks, and our alpha narratives up front. But here's the challenge. If our friendships are exclusively about confidence and competence, then by definition, they cannot be authentic, because no one is competent across the board. Speak for yourself, Mark. No one is completely without uncertainty or confusion. Yeah, compensating or something like that. Then we find ourselves surrounded by risk-free, surface-level friendships can end up isolated, especially in the event of life challenges like losing a job or getting divorced. The absence of a robust circle of friendships in men's lives contributes directly to epidemic levels of stress related to illness, depression, suicide, and violence. And that's the end of the excerpt that I was going to read from this. And I just wanted to share maybe like a micro example of this that I think that Sunday Assembly we do differently, or at least we open up the opportunity for it to be different. I find that often men's hugs are kind of a little microcosm of all this. Because, I mean, the classic, like, you know, it's like a baseball team or some sports team, like the hugs are, they're brief, they're short, and they always have that back pat, right? They always have that, and I always find it so interesting, right? Because it's like a, well, I don't want to be that close, so let's insert some violence into this. And like, that is funny, but it's also, I find it to be like, that is exactly what's going on, and it's a little strange. And like, I feel that every time. And so I guess just encouragement, like, and by the way, no judgment, like if you give me a back pat, it's cool, we're cool. I mean, I do it too. But I'm just saying, like, you know, that this is, anyway, just saying, like, hey, feel encouraged to, like, you know, you can go without the back pat, see what that feels like, see if that makes a more meaningful connection. Who knows? But that's all I got. So.
I'm normally not a patter. Yeah. But why not take the opportunity now and do the opposite of what you just said?
Yes, please undermine that.
I'm always loved the family reunions. I'm like, don't bring up politics. And I'm like, so what about blah? Right at the table. Like, grandma doesn't like her sweet potatoes anymore because she's like, I just can't. I can't even. It's fun. It's a good family tradition. Ross has so kindly made it a little bit easier for us men to go beyond that superficial level with just a few little tips that we can take home. Really, these could be applicable to anyone, man or woman, male or female, however you define yourself. And it's a way to find a way to connect on a deeper level, other than just we go to bowling together, or I don't know, we shoot ducks together, or we buried that body together. You know, there could be something that binds you. Yeah, collective strife or collective secrets are a great bonding mechanism. But beyond those, you could definitely not have to go through the trials and tribulations of finding someone to put in the ground. Instead, you can socialize with people you know, obviously. The whole water cooler talk, right? But it could go beyond sports and beyond weather, beyond stuff up there. It could be, what did you do this weekend? And actually say what you did instead of, I saw some friends and, I don't know, watched the game. You know, it could be, I'm really proud of, my son for doing blah, blah, blah. Or I'm really happy that I got the chance to see this person in my family. I haven't seen them in a while. And you could just stop at that level. You've already made the achievement of going a little bit deeper, which is good. You never know what the other person may bring out. They may be waiting to be cracked open by somebody else starting that conversation. Meeting people face to face is a great way as well. Texting now. Don't even get me started about dating. Oh man, online dating is a whole other matter. But men, of course, whether online dating or not, can connect in person and find a way to connect, either over an activity, as it suggests, a group or some way to bond over something, as well as give you a reason to be there, since for some men it's weird to like, hey, you want to come hang out? And that could be an awkward conversation. But you could find a place to be together, just open up with something. So those are some ideas. Take what you will, and I know that men could definitely benefit. I know I could benefit from more friendships with other men. I hang out with people like Ross, so I hang out with some pretty good people.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what you do. You're getting a full hug later for that one. No pat.
Right. Good job, Ross.
So, one other aspect of friendship that is not always talked about is, and that we've actually addressed tonight by some of our readers, is that way of giving yourself as a friend, offering yourself to somebody as that person, breaking open in a way that barrier between you and the potential connection between you and that other person. And one good way to look into who you can be in that relationship is getting more comfortable with that quiet time of yourself. Or like me, it's never quiet in my head. So getting comfortable with all the noise and finding the space between all the noise that can really bind everything together. So I'd like to bring up Andy, who is going to give us a chance to slow down a little bit. And you can speed up, Andy. Slow clap him up. Slow clap. Yes.
No pat. Jealous. Caress a little. Yes.
I love that Scott talked about like putting in place a boundary. One of the I kind of had some thoughts about like what we're about to do how that ties into our theme, and I realized that for a lot of my life I viewed other people as obstacles in like my wanting to do something, and they were just interfering with my ability to do that. And I realized that if I was viewing everyone in the world like that, I probably wasn't going to make a lot of friends. And so over the last, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, I've really tried to have a different perspective on people. And so one of the techniques that came up for me in that kind of that path was something called loving kindness. And so what I'd like to do today, we call this a moment of mindfulness. Probably going to be a few moments. So let's see what we got. Do I point this in any particular direction? Oh, thanks. All right, so thank you, Ross. So yeah, it'll be a few minutes of mindfulness here. Or I'm not distracted everybody. This comes from my own experience. So I guess a year or two ago, Dan, who has been part of the band, Dan Christie's band, if that makes the connection for anyone. Dan 3, I don't know what his number, Dan 1, okay. He mentioned Sonder, might have even been on this stage, and Sonder is realizing that, for instance, the person sitting next to you, I know there's no person sitting next to me, but if there was a person sitting next to me, that they have a rich, vivid inner life that goes on. They have thoughts, stuff like that. And so when I heard that, it kind of made me pause, and I thought, that's interesting. Maybe I should consider that other people have this rich inner life that I really had not up to that point, at least not clearly. So I'd like to say that we can ask ourselves, do we want to be miserable or not miserable? So if you are given a choice, which would you prefer? You don't have to answer out loud, you can just kind of think it to yourself. But I am talking to you. So there are a few ways that we can view ourselves. We can kind of acknowledge, again, to ourselves, and think this in your own head, I have thoughts. I have feelings. I have beliefs. I make assumptions. I have good things, I bet you know what's coming next. I have bad days. And maybe think about, what is it that you want for yourself? Do you want whatever the opposite of misery is? Do you want peace for yourself? Calm for yourself? Comfort? Happiness? Joy? I don't know what the difference is between those last two. Something, nothing, whatever you want. So, what don't you want for yourself? To be unhappy? To be discontent? To have stress? To be discomfortable? Discomforted? To have discomfort? To be pain? Suffering? So, I'd like to offer an opportunity to practice. You can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever is comfortable for you. You may want to find a little bit of a comfortable spot in your chair so that your discomfort isn't the focus of what we do in this little practice. But whatever makes you comfortable, cool. And so, I'm going to say some words out loud, and you will just kind of repeat those words in your head. That means don't repeat them out loud. I am a human being. I want to be happy. I want to be free from suffering. Okay, we're done. Thank you. I'm sorry, what? The strangling part? Oh. Okay, so is it possible that other people want those same kinds of things that I want? I think this is called a callback, isn't it? Yeah. Sandra? Dan 1? Anyone? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Alright, so let's do a little comparison here. I am a human being. I want to be happy, and I want to be free from suffering. Other people are human beings. They want to be happy. They want to be free from suffering. So let's continue with that earlier practice. Again, comfortable, eyes open, eyes closed, whatever is comfortable for you. I'm going to say this, you think this out loud in response. Think this to yourself in response, not the out loud part. The person sitting next to me is a human being, just like me. The person sitting next to me wants to be happy, just like me. The person sitting next to me wants to be free from suffering, just like me. Now we'll do advanced level practice. The jerk who cut me off on my way here today is a human being, just like me. The jerk who cut me off on my way here today wants to be happy, just like me. The jerk who cut me off on my way here today wants to be free from suffering, just like me. Ninja level practice. That guy or gal I can't stand the most is a human being, just like me. That guy or gal I can't stand the most wants to be happy, just like me. That guy or gal I can't stand the most wants to be free from suffering, just like me. Super duper pirate ninja level practice. Everyone is a human being, just like me. Everyone wants to be happy, just like me. Everyone wants to be free from suffering, just like me. That ends our practice. I hope you all are happy and free from suffering, just like me. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. I personally have not practiced loving kindness meditation because that jerk who cut me off, he doesn't deserve it yet. I'm here. But it actually is something I've done a few times, and it can be a really inspiring kind of meditation. Have we all heard of mindfulness meditation? That's the buzzword these days, right? This is just a different form of sitting however you want, thinking these things progressively, growing typically from me and myself to people I care about, to people I am ambivalent about, to someone I really don't care about, and eventually everyone. Because really, in essence, we are all human beings, and we all want to live a happy life, and we all don't like being in pain, right? And that can really bring about some good compassion, even for the jerk who cut you off in traffic. Now let's jump to Tim. Oh, Tim. I haven't seen him in a while. So I'm glad I get to hear from him. This is another main segment of our session here that we do every month called Life Happens, and Tim is going to tell us a little bit about it. Let's get some congratulations.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Andy. That was truly excellent. Greetings, my fellow humans. I would like to extend my warmest wishes of peace and love to all of you and to everyone in your lives. We're so glad that you're here with us today. Next, we have a segment that we call Life Happens. If you are here today, chances are that life has happened to you. Sometimes a lot. It can be good, it can be bad, it can be neutral, some combination of the above. But the purpose of this segment is to really get to know what's going on with each other, because the purpose of Sunday Assembly is about community, it's about supporting each other. And sometimes we don't get to the deep stuff. We see each other, we make chit-chat, but we don't always know exactly what's really going on with people. We don't always get to that. We don't always share that. So this is a way to do that with the entire community who is here today. It can be anonymous or not anonymous, however you would like. I would like to propose the following ground rules. When something nice happens, We can respond with applause or cheers or jazz hands. Any of the above are fine. If something bad happens, and then we talk about it, in lieu of awkward silence and that sucks, let's give some snaps of support. So this is our sympathy snaps, okay? So those are our guidelines. And away we go. Our first card is from Nick, who says, my first endeavor into stunt coordination for films is almost at an end. Shooting will begin this weekend. I'm glad this opportunity came about, but I'll be equally glad to not have to work on the same 3 20-second scenes for hours on end. Thank you, Nick. This next card is from Laura. Laura, hello. The foster kittens are going back to Lifeline tomorrow morning for snip and adoption. I'll leave you to guess what snip is. Going to miss those little monsters. On to the next litter. Thank you, Laura. Our next card is from Andy, who says, I'm grateful for my friends in Sunday Assembly Atlanta and elsewhere to be supporters, challengers, mirrors, coaches, fellow travelers, listeners, partners, co-leaders, co-creators, and teachers. Yay, friends. Thank you. And yay to all the friends in the room. Next is from Marla, who says, the friends I've made at Sunday Assembly are the best I've had since college. Probably better because, well, maturity. Smiley face. I can't imagine my life without them, and I'm so grateful for you all. Thank you, Marla. This next card is from Mike, who says, I had another good summer up in Maine. Not sure what's next, but keeping an open mind and looking forward to fall. Thank you, Mike. Michelle says, there was a bit of a roller coaster this past month. On the one hand, Dragon Con and Japan Fest were amazing and wonderful. I can't wait for next year. On the other hand, my dog, Artu, was bit on his ear and we had to take him to the emergency vet. He will be completely fine thanks to the awesome doctor. Come see me for adorable puppy pictures. And finally, I miss Sonica. Thank you. This next card is anonymous. It says, I've started rock climbing again, and I hope to do it on some real rock soon. I hope so too. Make sure to bring the ropes and be careful. This next card says, Michelle's Honda Fit was broken into this morning when she and 3 others were supporting the new SW, Southwest UU Church. A good friend helped patch the window. Thanks for good friends. Snap, that's right. Whatever you feel. The next card is anonymous. It says, I'm currently having a really stressful time at my new job. I hope it will get better for you. This next card is anonymous. It says, I've lost 12 pounds in a healthy way. I've completed 9 months of therapy, have been meditating regularly for 5 months, and I'm about to be roommates with one of my best friends. I am happy to finally find joy and equanimity in my life. Smiley face, that's awesome. Our next card is from Manav, who says, I recently came up with a way to cure cancer, vegan diets. Try it out. This next card is from Ella, who says that she is happy a podiatrist looked at x-rays a radiologist said was just a sprained ankle and found a hairline fracture in the heel, explaining and treating 2 weeks of unnecessary, pain. Could have been worse. We're glad that you're feeling better, and we wish you all the best now. Blessings be. Is it? Next card is from Sarah Irwin. It says, challenged to keep my balance with all that's going on socially and taking good care of myself at the same time. Those are all the cards we have for today. Thank you very much for everyone who shared. And when life happens to you, remember, we're still here. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Now, we are going to go to our collection segment. We'll be passing some baskets around. We'll have a song and music while we're doing that. As many of you know, and if you're new here, now you know, we're a 501c3, which is great because donations are tax-free. We also run exclusively on donations. So that pays for the space, that pays to make sure that this equipment works. Donations bought that projector. It ensures that our band is still here to play. It makes sure that we keep the lights on, essentially. So any way that you'd like to contribute, you can. Even if that's volunteering, if you'd like to help set up or break things down, or if you'd like to help with other events, we'll get into that a little bit later. Some of the other events that we have that you can throw on your calendar tonight to plan for in the future. Up there are a few of the costs, often recurring costs that we incur. So I think we're ready. Another way to donate, actually, other than just cash, you can give us your
Venmo is a great way. If you guys don't have cash, you can use your Venmo account, and probably others too. Or you can go on the website. Yeah, you can go on the website. You could also just give us your credit card tonight. We are more than willing to take that. Just wait a week to cancel it. We'll make sure it's taken care of for that week, for sure. But really, there are legitimate other ways to receive donations. Jumping on, sorry. So PayPal, Venmo, as Tim mentioned. We often have a credit card swiper here, so if you do want to pay by credit card, that's nice and easy. Ross has it in the back. And of course, good hard cash. It's not on here, but I will also take gold. As long as it's real, I'll do the bite test to make sure. Any sort of currency that's going to take off in the next, 300 years from now, I'm willing to take an IOU on those. If you know that there's going to be a new world currency when the new world order takes over. So I'm willing to invest in that. Anyway, we are going to have music, I believe, is our band playing. Okay. We're going to have our technician. We pay her lots for this series. The segment here, I talked about the announcements of some items we have coming up. So if this is your first time, Sunday Assembly is not just this once a month. That would not be satisfying because we have so many other ways to connect with people. Sometimes a large event like this is not always everyone's cup of tea. And we all have creativity and we want to use it in many different ways. So one of the ways is Wonder Club, which is coming back with this same topic, and it's exploring friendship. Wonder Club is a smaller group meeting where we have basically a circle discussion about a particular topic. That's coming up on Friday. We also are we have a segment called Help Often, since as I mentioned earlier, that's one of our values, is live better, wonder more, and help often. That's where we go out to the community and do something great for the community. This time it's at the Atlanta Food Bank.
So if you'd like to help out there, you can see our date there on the 4th. We also have a small group called Talking TED, where we watch a TED Talk, and then we have a discussion about it. So if you've ever watched those on your own and thought, I'd really like to hear other people's ideas or share my ideas with them after watching this is a great place to do that. Another small group where you have, single to double digits of folks that you can really get to know better about certain ideas. And of course, the Atlanta Pride Festival is on the 14th. It's at Piedmont Park. Many of us will be going to that. Maybe either to participate or support in one form or another. So if you are interested in that, feel free to talk to anyone with a green lanyard. They may be going. You can see it there. Ross is definitely going. And that could be a question you can ask others here. Hey, are you going to that? I'm interested, but I'd like to go with someone. Our next assembly will be back at our normal time. We started a little bit late tonight just for scheduling reasons. It'll be back to our 5:30 normal time. That will be on the 21st. We're determining the theme now. Friendship, of course, was the theme today, so we're going to find another good one for you. We also have t-shirts. You've seen many folks here. Teresa has one. Ross has one. It's a purple t-shirt that says Sunday Assembly. It has our great message on the back of live better, help often, wonder more. Very comfortable if you would like one. They're only $10 until they're gone. So feel free to speak with Andy, who's in the back. You saw him earlier. He, like every human, needs a shirt. And so you, like every other human, may also need a nice, brilliant purple shirt. So talk with him. And then last, but the most, is our volunteers. Finding volunteers who want to help and who get involved is a great opportunity for us to meet new people, but also a great opportunity for anyone who's interested to get involved as much as they would like to really get to know and help the community grow in one form or another. So thank you for your time, because if any of you worked in a nonprofit before, you know how difficult it can be sometimes to manage everything on your own. So the more bodies we have in the room, the more stuff gets done, the better things run. And the more say you have in how things go. So that's also fun. I'd like to close us out here with our band again. Come up and play some great music.
Getting set up. I just want to say that I chose this song because when I first came to Sunday Assembly, I didn't know a soul, and I was very shy, and I didn't think I had anything to offer, and I got involved, even so, first with band and then some other things, and I found I did have things to offer, and I did make friends, and those friends are just really important to me now. And so if you want to make friends, one easy way is to volunteer.
Troubles
Praise be on to more than I can be.
Thank you, man. Let's give one more round of applause to the band. Some of us remember those old YouTube days for our music. Boy, the struggle. Thank you, thank you. You all have done excellent. We have a Beatles song. Right. So, as is tradition for Sunday Assembly, we often have a potluck afterwards, and there's some food out there now. There's also some delicious pizza coming along the way. In the meantime, our band's going to play us another song. Also, feel free to mingle about with people at your table, maybe open up another one of those questions, or just other people at other tables you haven't met yet. And chit-chat. If you have a comment, there's probably a lot more than you may think. So thank you again for coming.